would now like to welcome our keynote speaker, Dijan Jayawardene. We apologize for running a little late. It's no fault of ours. Sai Baba Leelas are such that when we get into them, they're everlasting, they never end. But I know we're constrained by time, so without much ado, I'd like to hand you over to our keynote speaker, Dijan. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, I Rakesh ji and everybody. I hope you can hear me well.
Yes, we can hear you perfect.
Wonderful. It is absolute joy to be sitting here with all of you on such an auspicious day. So first of all, let me wish everyone here a very, very, very happy Guru Purnima. It's Guru Baba's day, and there can be no better day than this day to be sitting together and talking about Baba and celebrating Baba. I think it is indeed the most auspicious day and moment for all of us to come together from across the world and speak about the Baba. So thank you, Rakesh ji, for making this possible. I think I was just sitting and listening to everybody and thinking this is like the most beautiful way to celebrate Baba on Guru Purnima. Everybody's stories have me with gooseflesh. Everyone here has spoken about Baba, their own experiences, their own love for Baba, and the more you watch it, the more overwhelmed it makes you to know that Baba is breathing through each one of us equally and more. So I think I'm very excited, as you can see. And Guru Purnima Day, I'm very high on energy, so I'm going to be very emotional. Please bear with me. I'm overflowing with him, my hands trembling with his love. So this is the way I normally am on these special days with Baba. I hope you can all see me because I can't see myself on the screen. I hope I'm visible to everybody.
Yeah, you are visible to us. I'm sure you're visible to everyone else. You should start the video on Zoom.
I have actually. I do not know why. I think I can get myself now. Yes. As long as everybody can see me, I'm good.
Yes, we can see you clearly.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity of being the keynote speaker because I get time to speak more about my Baba, your Baba, and that is the best thing I can be doing sitting here today. So first of all, gratitude to all the wonderful people that I'm meeting after a long time, people I have loved, respected dearly all these years. Vasu Dada, sitting here and talking with Vasu Dada, he loves me, dotes on me, and I am privileged and blessed that he loves me so much. Seeing Dr. Ityan after such a long time, after he visited home, this is the first time I've seen him after ages. My blessing to see you again, all the way from Netherlands. And to all my Sai Bandhus sitting here, it is sheer joy to be here with you. Manvarda, I mean, from our little age, we've been hearing your bhajans and relishing every one of them. To be sitting here with you, it's all joy, celebration, and all the speakers across. Zoom room, a lot of my healers are sitting, and I'm delighted to have you all in the park, in the Zoom room as well. Very happy. Talking about experiences, I think more than experiences today, I'd like to take the opportunity to share messages from Baba which are coming to me. But because we've been asked to share our personal experiences, I would just like to say that my life is Baba's miracle. Right from when I was born till today, I think every day, every moment has been a miracle. To start with my life, I was born to amazing parents because of whom I am here, where I am today, their blessing completely. But they had lost 3 sons before I was born. My father was in the armed forces. In fact, he was fighting the war when my mother had already lost the 3rd child. And back then, medical science was not so advanced. So doctors had told my parents that if you have another child, the child is not going to survive. There is some problem. So please do not plan a baby for this life. And after losing 3 sons in a row, growing them up and then losing them, I'm sure my parents didn't want to take the risk as well. That is when Baba came into their life. Bless them, and the message they got was very clear. He just said a very small little thing to them. He said, do good. That's all, 2 words. Do good, nothing else. And Mama Baba started doing good work. The amount of charity they have done, when I listen to them, I get in awe. Today when I sit here, running NGOs and doing good in the world, I think, oh my God, I'm doing so much work. But when I look back at 2 individuals, my parents, the amount of good work they did back then, it is unbelievable that they went to that extent, from widow ashrams to old age homes to children's shelters. to cow sheds, to planting trees, to having water plants on the road so that people could drink water. I mean, you name it, and Mama Papa did it. And then they had this very clear indication after some time that go ahead and have a child. The child will be fine. And Mama tells me that inside her she felt that power, that yes, the time has come and I can have a baby and nothing will happen to her. Doctors who knew my parents told them it's a blunder, it's a mistake, we are telling you the child will not survive. But when you do good work, when he inspires you to do good work, you know it inside your core that yes, everything's going to be good. Because good is all our Baba did, and good deeds is all our Baba expects of us. That is what Baba is all about, actually. Just doing good, spreading love, spreading happiness. So my parents went ahead. I was conceived, and I'm very well hale and hearty sitting here in front of you. The biggest miracle of my Baba, who according to medical science should not be here. So like I said, my birth was my first miracle. As I grew up, I, in my very young age, started experiencing Baba inside me as energies. I started getting messages from him that if I place my hands on anyone, the people will heal. Honestly, I was running a business. I was not at all even thinking about healing and what is Baba talking about. But you see, when he wants you on a path, he brings you on the path, and that's what he did with me. He pushed me till I went there and I started to work, and I would just put my hands on people and they started getting better. I was totally lost. I mean, how was it happening? I had no idea because I was doing nothing. I became famous as this young girl gifted with Baba's healing energies. But honestly, again, I tell you, I really did nothing. I was not the healer. I was doing nothing. I was just following his instructions and putting my hands on people and they were getting better. And my story continued till I came across medically impossible cases. Me being the first one, in the sense I was not to be born, I was. And then I got cases where doctors had given up on people and said, this is a no-no at all. You know, this person is not going to make it. I just prayed and they healed. Doctors were amazed. Doctors were surprised. Some of them a little angry with me also. I got calls from hospitals saying, what are you doing? This is not possible. And I just smiled. I said, I just prayed. That's all I know how to do. That's where my life changed and the journey changed. And I, without realizing, became a healer. Closed my work, closed my business, and started walking his path of love. Wrote 2 books on Baba, which today are international bestsellers. People have loved the books and connected with them. And the one common thread that ties my books together, or all the healers that I have initiated today to Baba's energies. There are thousands of us in the world like me today, whom I have initiated with Baba's energies, and we do healing work across the world. The one common thing that is running through all of us is his love. We are just born together in that thread called Baba, unbreakable thread called Baba and his love. The 2 books, the healing work, then I came and started to NGOs many years back, and Baba led me on to what he wanted me to do. Without my knowledge, I started getting little baby girls who were rape survivors, and Baba asked me to look after them. And I was not ready at that time, but because he said it had to be done. Today I'm mother to so many girls across India who have gone through very difficult times. They have been abused and raped at very tiny ages. But I will not say this with tears, not say this with pain. I will say this with strength. That being the mother to such babies and seeing them blossom, seeing them do well in their studies, do well in their lives, is the biggest joy I could get. So slowly Baba kept pushing me, nudging me towards his children, towards Annadan Seva, towards good work. And today I'm happy to share with you that we have, as we celebrate Guru Purnima, for the healing of Mother Earth, we have been chanting as the Saivisa family. And Baba has said in the Satcharita that just by saying sign, you can just go over the 7 seas and merge into him. All your sins will be cleansed, all your pain will be cleansed away. All your karma will be cleansed just by saying Sai Sai. So we decided what better at this difficult time to chant Sai Sai when Mother Earth is going through its most challenging days. About 90 days back, we started chanting. Across the world, people started chanting, and we requested them to update their accounts to us. We set up numbers, and the accounts were coming to us. And I'm happy to share that on Guru Purnima, we have touched over 92 million chants of Sai Sai. Yes, 92 million chants have been done of Baba's Nama. And when I close my eyes, I can visualize Sai, 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 Sai floating in the cosmos. What of a little virus and what of any dark energy that exists? When you give out so much of Baba to the world, you can imagine what happens. You can visualize what happens. The cosmos changes into Sai Sai. We're doing Mahabarayan, we're chanting, we're doing everything that Baba taught us. Most importantly, we're doing good work because Baba's life has to be replicated into ours. That was about my life, the miracles that Baba has. I mean, every day is a miracle. Like Dada said, you could write books and books and books, and it would still be less because every moment is a miracle. The fact that I'm sitting here breathing, sitting next to Baba, talking to such amazing people from across the world is also a miracle. It's gratitude for every big little blessing that Baba brings to our life because there are so many, they're uncountable. Time and again during this program, there was reference made to Baba being alive. Again and again, the speakers were saying that Baba is alive. I have to share something a bit unplanned here. Years ago, when my first book was coming out, Times of India had published it. The chairman spoke to me and he said, the book name is not acceptable to us. Well, the name of my first book is Sai Baba is Still Alive. And I said, why would you not accept this? And he said, no, it's too long a name. And I said, no, but that's what I have to tell everybody, that Baba has gone nowhere, he's still alive. And then the book happened and now it's history. Everybody knows about the book and the fact that Baba is alive. And that's my message today also. I want to speak about the fact that Baba has gone nowhere. He has given up his mortal body, his mortal coil, but he has become more alive than he ever was in the cosmos. When in Shirdi, Baba was limited to a physical body, to that space. After he merged into the cosmos, he has become a part of everything that exists, everything that exists. He is a part of he is the sun, he is the moon, he is the stars, he is the mountains, he is the rivers, and he is in all of you. And that is what is Baba's existence all about. My message for today is about Sai consciousness. I keep repeating this word over and over, and about a year and a half back, I wanted to start a project called Sai Consciousness. I think the time was not right. But today, as Sai Visa family, we have actually launched the product. Our first groups have come up, Sai Consciousness groups. I must tell you what is Sai Consciousness. I'm not talking about my project. I'm talking about Baba's message. Sai Consciousness is about the existence of Sai within me. Sai is not a god to be worshipped in the temples. Not merely a god to be worshipped in the temples. Sai is not merely one to be remembered when in pain or suffering. Sai is a way of life. He has to be in everything we do. When I breathe, my breath has to be Sai, Sai, Sai. When my heart beats, it has to beat to the sound of Sai, Sai, Sai. When I laugh, my laughter has to echo with Sai, Sai, Sai. When I offer food, it should become prasad because he has tasted it. That is my Sai, Sai, Sai. In everything, in all of existence, we have to see Sai. In our thoughts, in our actions, in our thoughts, words and actions, in everything there has to be Sai. And that is when we will actually reach where our Baba wanted us to reach. You see, years ago, when the first book came again, I was asked, and even today I'm asked this question very often, that what have you done to get such a special place in Baba's heart? Everybody loves him. Everybody loves him. So when a lot of people meet me in temples and during my talks and write mails and messages to me, it's a common question. What have you done, Dee, for Baba to love you so much? I just have a very simple message and answer for all of you. You see, when everybody was loving Baba, I fell in love with Baba. And they are two absolutely different things. Loving Baba is one thing. Being in love with Baba is just another thing. Before I go on to share my message, I've kept the Satcharita here for all of you, and I'd like to read page 230, just 2 lines for you. Baba himself has said this, I'm not saying it. It's a long paragraph, you can go back and read English, abridged version from the Sai Sansthan, the Satcharita, page 230. Baba says, "He who loves me most always sees me. The whole world is desolate to him without me. He who tells no stories but mine, he ceaselessly meditates upon me and always chants my name. I'm indebted to him." You see, this part, and there is more there, I want you to understand when Baba says the whole world is desolate to him without me. Only when we are in love with somebody does the world look desolate without that person. You see, I love a lot of people in the world today, but for one particular person, I feel if that person is not around, my life ends at that. That is the love, that is the connect I feel with that human being. When you start loving your Baba with that connect, that is when everything just changes, completely changes, because you're in love with him. Because when you eat, sleep, drink, do anything, your thoughts only carry sign. Your actions, words, anything you do only has sign because you're in love with him. And being in love is the most beautiful thing in the world. And if you can be in love with your Guru, with your Baba, it can't get any better. I'd like to quickly share a story that I often share with all of you. Some of you may have heard this before, but quickly this to explain what is the difference between loving and being in love. You see, this is a story from the Bhagavatam. And since we just had a very beautiful bhajan with Krishna in it, let's talk about Krishna, the very handsome, amazing God of love, Krishna. So when once it is said that Krishna fell very ill, and all the Veds and all the doctors at that time could not heal him. They could do nothing for Krishna. They tried every remedy, everything on him, and Krishna wouldn't get better. Finally, Narad Muni had a message from the higher Lord. So he came there and he said, "Krishna, you have to drink the washings of the feet of the person who loves you the most in the world, and you will be fine. Will you drink it?" Krishna said, "I'm tired of being sick. Narada, get me the washings. I will drink anything. Just go get them." So Narada rushed to Rukmini and he said, "You have to wash your feet in water and give me those washings so Krishna may drink it. You love him so much, he will heal." And Rukmini said, "What? Washings of my feet to my Krishna? Oh my God, no. I will burn in hell if I do that. He's my Lord, he's my God. I can't even think of giving the washings of my feet for him. No, Narada, go. I can't do this." Narada just walked away smiling. And you know who he went to next? He went to Radha. And he said, "Radhe, Narayan, Narayan. I'm coming all the way from Krishna's abode, and Krishna is not well." And the moment he said those words, Radha broke into palpitation. "Krishna is not well? My Krishna is not well? What happened to him, Narada? What happened to my Krishna?" He says, relax, don't worry. I just have a message for you. The message is, he just has to drink the washings of the feet of the person who loves him the most in the world, and he will be fine. And Radha said, "Wait, just stay here, Narada." She ran out, got a bowl of water, a tub of water, soaked her feet in it, and she said, "Go to my Krishna and heal him." Narada was mystified. He smiled. He looked at Radha and said, "Radha, tell me one thing. Will you not burn in hell for doing this? Washings of your feet to the Lord God himself." She said, "Oh Narada, if my Krishna doesn't get better, I will anyways burn in hell. Just go and make him better. I don't care what happens to me. Just make him better. Just go, Narada. Don't waste time. Go to him." And Narada said, "But still, it's impure water. It's soiled. You washed your dirty feet in it." And she again smiled. "Oh, my Krishna is the Lord of Lords. All the elements, earth, water, fire, air, and ether, all in his feet. Don't worry. God will take care of the water. Before it touches my Krishna's lips, this soiled water will become Amrita. I know that it will become pure Amrit. This is love, being in love. When you don't care about yourself, you don't think and worry what will happen to me. You love the person so much that you can do anything for him. That is why Radha is one name with Krishna, because she was in love. And it doesn't end here, mind you. Talk about Krishna himself. He obviously loved Yashoda Maya. He loved Nand Baba. He loved the gopis. He loved the sheep and the cows in Vrindavan. But he was in love with Radha. And that is why their name is taken together as Radha Krishna. We don't take the names of anybody else with him, barring Radha, because that is the essence of being in love. So when we reach that stage of being in love with this handsome man sitting next to me, everything changes. Because then you associate with him at such a profound level, at such a deep level, that nothing else matters to you. The world is desolate without him. He has to be a part of it. He has to be the essence, the core of it. So that for me is Sai consciousness, the love of Baba, when it becomes so supreme, so big that everything else ceases to exist. And yes, to continue the message from Baba, I have one more thing to add to this. Baba says, each one of you loves me the way I sit here in my Sakar Roop, Sagun Roop. We love this form of Baba. When we see him, we just merge into him. And that is, of course, being in love. But Baba says, no. Being in love is not this. A step ahead, a big step ahead is where we have to reach. See, before I tell you that message, you must understand, we have been born to this earth for a reason. We have not just come to live our lives and go back. We have been born here to fulfill a purpose of this incarnation. And when we have a guru like Baba in our life, that purpose has to be spiritual and beautiful and meaningful. It has to add meaning, purpose and completeness, wholeness into our lives. Only then we can go back to Baba and merge into him. So now going forward and explaining what this love is, how Baba explained to me is, he narrated a doha of Kabir. It was echoing in my head when Baba gave me the message, and the doha was, Pothi pad pad jan hua, pandit bhaya na koi, dhai aakhir prem ka, pade so pandit koi. And that means that all of us are busy reading scriptures and focusing more on the reading than on loving him. He says, the Kabir says, and he said it years ago, hundreds of years ago, he said that reading the Pothi is beautiful, but more important is love. So I asked Baba, when we read the Pothi, which for us is the Satcharita, or read the Bhagavad Gita, or anything, the foundation of that is love. I love you, so I read about you. And then Baba said, no. Again, open page 230 of the Satcharita, which I did. And now I need to read the message Baba gave about understanding Dhai Aakhir Prem Ka. That means, Pothi pad pad jan hua. The whole world is living a mortal life, reading scriptures. But if you have to reach immortality, you just need to understand the meaning of Dhai Aakhir, 2.5 alphabets called Prem, love. Again, back to love. So I asked Baba, we love you. He said, no, who am I? Who do you love? And I said, I love you. And then page 230 of the Satcharita, who is Sai Baba? He says, who is this me is the header of that paragraph. Sai Baba expounded many a time who this me or I is. He said, you need not go far in search of me. Barring your name and form, there exists in you as well as in all beings a sense of being or consciousness of existence. That is myself. Knowing this, you see me inside yourself as well as in all beings. If you practice this, you will realize all pervasiveness and thus attain oneness with me. So Baba says that I am living in everyone. Baba says the same consciousness of existence, of Baba's existence, is equally there in every soul. Baba's message was, if you want to understand love, if you want to move ahead in your spiritual journeys, then start loving me in my Nirakar Roop, in my Nirgun Swarup. And what is Baba's Nirakar Roop? When I sit in meditation, I can feel his Nirakar Roop. It's the most beautiful thing. It's the most beautiful thing to be able to feel Baba everywhere in the cosmos, not limited to this body, not limited to this idol. To see him in everything that is, everything that was, and everything that will be. So when I talk about Sai consciousness is you have to be conscious that Sai is conscious in all of creation. You sit with Baba, pray, meditate, read about him, chant his name, but when you get up from that seat, there is anger towards somebody, there is hatred towards somebody, there is animosity for somebody, jealousy for somebody, then there is no Sai consciousness. Sai consciousness is when you can love everyone equally and more because you see your Baba inside them. And it is the most amazing place to be in. You can't be angry with anybody. You can't be upset with anybody because if somebody deeply hurts you, breaks your heart, you still see your Baba inside that person and you're only and only filled with love for that person. That is the state Baba wants us to reach. We're sitting in a time when we're going through a pandemic. The entire world is today going through so much of difficulty. The reason is the lesson that comes to us again and again. Everybody says there is a lesson that has to come to us due to this pandemic. It is something we all have to learn as Mother Earth and its people. What is that lesson? You see, when we did not bond with each other as one force, as a positive force, we got bonded with a negative, low vibration force called fear. Today, all of us, all of mankind is connected by one emotion called fear. Fear of losing your own life, fear of losing the life of your dear ones, fear of pain, suffering, one pandemic, one virus that is causing all of this. Come to think about it, if we could be bonded with love, there would be no place for all of this. And that is my request to everybody who's watching me today, that if you really want to make your life purposeful and Baba-ful, most important is bring that Sai alive inside you and see that Sai alive inside every bit of creation, be it plants, be it animals, be it the cosmos, or be it any human being. Next time you feel hatred for somebody, just close your eyes and see Baba there and say, oh my Baba, you are there, how can I hate this person? Next time you want to be angry with somebody, don't do it. Just be in love. You see, it is said that on this side of the world and that side of the world, there is one big difference. While we're alive in this world, we are judgmental, we judge people, and that has become the biggest cause of our pain. Somebody is good for us, somebody is bad, somebody is right for us, somebody is wrong. We're constantly judging people, and that is the core reason for anger, animosity, jealousy, etc., etc. But the moment you go on the other side, when we shed the body and we go into the spirit form, it is said in God's space, nobody judges you. You are beautiful in any which way because you are a pure soul. What you did, what you didn't do, were you good in the life, were you not good in the life as per others, doesn't matter. In His eyes, you're always pure, you're always good. That is what we have to achieve being on this side. Let's not wait to go on that side to achieve this. While in this life, let's stop judging people. Let's stop calling people good or bad. Everybody is good because Baba is inside. They're doing what their karma is, their life is. And Sai consciousness is about just spreading love and more love. Being in love with Him means being in love with all of creation. That is Sai consciousness. So fall in love, celebrate Baba, and don't worry about these pains and problems that come in your life. Pain is only His way of making us stronger, of bringing more spiritual growth, because learnings come to us only in pain. If you're always happy, how will you learn your lessons of life? How will you get deeper connect with Baba? All that happens only when there is pain. So welcome the pain with a smile. I always tell Baba that if I'm grateful on a good day, I will be even more grateful on a difficult day. Because if you are sending it my way, there is a reason to it. And I'll embrace it with all my love because Baba has sent it for me. It must be beautiful. So on that note, I hope I haven't taken too long. I think a decent time. So thank you very much, and I love all of you. I hope and pray that we continue spreading Sai consciousness, and that just means continue spreading love. Love Baba and love everything about Baba, which is every one of his creation. A last shloka of Khwaja Baba Sheikh Farid. He has written some beautiful shlokas, and so beautiful that Guru Arjan Dev Ji has included them in the Guru Granth Sahib. 134 shlokas are there in the Guru Granth Sahib. I just want to share one, which I often sing and say for my Baba. This is for all of you also here. It goes, Kaga, sab tan khaiyo, chum chum khaiyo mas. Kaga, sab tan khaiyo, chun chun khaiyo mas, do nainan mat khaiyo, mujhe sai milan ki aas. And for those of you who don't know Hindi, Kaga being a crow, oh crow, if you want to eat my flesh, please eat up all of it. All that is on my skeletal, frail body, eat up all that flesh, it's yours. Chun chun khayo, but be a little compassionate and caring when you eat. Just spare the two eyes of mine, please. I've been craving for my Sai Darshan. Eat all of up. Eat me, all of up. Eat every bit of me. It will help you, it will feed you, it will nourish you. But leave my two eyes, because I'm dying to see my Sai. That's love, and that's being in love. I love him, and I love all of you, and I'm grateful for this beautiful evening of Guru Purnima, a grand celebration indeed, to celebrate our Baba and Sai consciousness. Thank you, everyone. Ya Sai. Pranams.
Thank you, Dee. That was very inspirational, very motivating. And I'd like to open it up for the people on Zoom as well on Facebook. If you wish over the next few minutes to interact or put anything in your thoughts to Dee while she's here, please, this is your opportunity. We all love Baba. Our mind, body, soul is Baba. Our life is Baba. So please, with that very, very inspirational talk by Dee, I'm sure some of you want to find out, share, or just ask. We'll give you that time now. And if no one's got anything to add, then we'll just continue. On the very end of our program, it's just 2-3 more items, and then there'll be the closing remarks. And again, very kindly from Pankaj Ji and Shirdi, he's also agreed to do our closing puja. And I like to share this. I've gone very attached to Pankaj Ji because he did our first puja here last year. And it was through him that we connected with Dee at that puja. And this time around, for some reason, I take Pankaj Ji's advice on whatever I have to do in South Africa. We have no pujari that will direct me. Baba directs me every now and then, but I need that reassurance from Pankaj Ji. And initially I told him, can you please speak to Dee about being on our program? And he said, okay, I will check. And that's where it ended. But again, Baba is too amazing. I mean, there's no words to explain it. For some reason, Pankaj Ji got busy. I lost contact with him for a few weeks. And then Ekta pitched up, and I was like, please, can you forward this request to Dee? And then Ekta went quiet, and I'm like, oh my God, Baba, please make Dee be on this program. And I don't know why they're quiet, but I'm understanding they're busy. I know that. And then it was a Thursday, a few weeks ago, I get a message from Ekta, can I call you? And I'm like, yes, sure. And then she tells me Dee has agreed to be on the Global Sai Baba webinar. And I just looked up to the sky and I said, thank you, Baba. I mean, there's no, I mean, I know I'll thank Dee, but ultimately it's Baba who influenced this for you to be with us.
Thank you,
Baba.
I'd like to say something, sorry, in between, but I have to say something to you.
Yes, please go ahead.
I
Please
must
go
tell
ahead.
you that I must be sounding like a very rude person when you didn't get a reward from my end, and I'm so happy I can say this to you in front of everybody. I'll share with you one thing, Rakesh ji. After I met Baba and after I became a healer, I started experiencing Baba inside me. A lot of people have shared that they've met Baba. I have met him inside my own physical body several times. I have felt him, known him, experienced his energies. After that, I wrote a second book, which is called 108 Pearls of Baba Sai, which was written completely in a state of trance. He made me switch off from the world. Days and days and days, I was merged in him. Trust me, I didn't know where I was. Was I eating food? Was I sleeping? I was ensconced in my chakras start palpitating like that. I start getting into a spin and I go into a different state with Baba. What happens is, on days like Guru Purnima, Baba's Mahasamadhi day, any high energy day, I tend to switch off completely from the world and be disconnected. Last year, I had a Facebook Live on my page, which I had organized, and 2 hours before that, I was howling and howling. Why? Because I was overwhelmed with his love. When I feel him inside, I just cry. I don't cry because there is any reason. I just cry. So when I came on camera, my eyes were swollen like that, and I was not in a condition to speak. That day, I told the entire team, no more lives for me on any high energy day. So when the invite came this time, I was paranoid. I said, Baba, if I say no, it will look so bad. And if I say yes, I can't be spinning and switching off that day and not going live. Then I just begged him and I said, Baba, I have to do this. You have to make me speak. You better keep me okay. So it was more a threat to him, and that's how I came. And on the Thursday, I especially told Ekta to speak to you on the Thursday and told Baba, now it is your responsibility. We've said yes on your day. So I'm really sorry for those 15 days, but I was just having a conversation with him so I could be here. I'm grateful for this, really, really grateful for this, to him and to you.
Well, it's so strange. While you were having your conversation with Baba to be part of this, I was busy sitting here in Durban praying to Baba to make you be part of it. So really both our prayers were answered. And again, Baba makes things possible.
Yes,
again, I
and
must add,
Koshi also was the reason for me connecting with you.
absolutely,
To me. Yes.
like you said, on the high energy days, there's a different feeling. And again, through Baba's grace, through Baba's blessing, now this is the second high energy day that we connect, meaning Shirdi Sai Baba South Africa, with you. So it's like almost Baba is telling us the energy flows from thee, and she will be there. That's the feeling we get. And again, thank you very much for being with us and sharing your beautiful experiences. And I don't say this is the end. I think always with Baba, this is the beginning. It always gets better with Baba. There's never an end. There's never the best, because there's always better. So in that sense, I'm just like so grateful to Baba for everything in our lives. Thank you, Dee, for taking this time out. We know you're very busy. We know this is a high energy day, but thank you for sharing some of your energy with all of our people on Zoom as well as on Facebook. Very much appreciated.
Thank you so much, Gasai. Thank you so much.
Is there anyone that would like to interact with Dee while she's with us?
Yes, I can see one query there in the chat box, if I may reply. There is somebody who has said how they can receive Baba's Puri. I could not see the city or the country or wherever the message is from. I would just like to request you, please go to any of my pages. There is Dijan Jayawani on Facebook, there is Instagram, anywhere. Just drop a message with your address. We have a project called Life of Sai. So we send out Satcharitas and Udi to any part of the world, to anyone who needs it happily. It's our seva for our Baba. Please write to us, and I'll only have it sent to you. I saw that query, so just responding.
Yes,
and any other questions?
Yeah, she's from Mauritius. Yutika is from Mauritius. We also have that request for Baba's Pudi in South Africa constantly. Rajiv Bhai from Delhi has mailed us some Pudi, but it's still stuck in somewhere along between India and here. But we have numerous requests. I had some sent from Shirdi for me. But yeah, I think one of the ways or one of the things we need to do, Sai Satcharitra and Udi, we have to sort of figure out a way that we can make it sort of readily available for any part, anywhere in the world. We know we're governed by customs and by courier regulation, but that's one of my wishes. Anyone wants a Sai Satcharitra, it will be sent to them. Anyone wants Udi, it will be sent to them with Baba's blessing. So, thank you. Thank you very much.
I want to say something here, Rakesh. There's a lot of people outside of India need the Udi, and we have a lot of problem in sending. A lot of times the envelopes come back to us. I would just like to say, in all such countries or cities, we always have Baba's Dhuni in the temple, lit all the time. In case there is no Dhuni, we can do a Havan of Baba, a Huma. In the Havan, all the ashes that come out of the Havan, we just have to mix one packet of Shirdi Udi into the ashes. It becomes Sai Baba's Udi, it becomes Shirdi Udi after that. Yes. And you can have it in abundance, because if you do a Havan with lots of wood, you will get, for 6 months, you will get Udi supply. And one little packet of Shirdi Udi has to be just put into that, and then you have the Udi available in whichever part of the world it is needed. We don't need to send it from anywhere. That is Udi.
Yeah, definitely. I think we will advise our bhakts, especially in South Africa, because we're dealing with them. There's this special connection with Udi from the Dwarka Maya from Baba's Dhuni. I accept what you said, and that's what we need to do. But that Udi from the Dhuni, for some reason, maybe a little extra special.
But Rakesh, you can add one pouch of that Udi into it. No, then it all becomes Sai Baba, Shirdi Udi. But this one pouch has to be added. It's all in our hearts. Absolutely. When we both take the Agarbati's, ash can be Baba's Udi. Then one packet into that is like, it's like an ocean. You add a drop, that becomes a part of the ocean. So.
Yes. Thank you, Dee. That was so inspirational and so good.
लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु लोका समस्ता सुखिनो